Charity, hello.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well.
How did you get to come and see me?
Sarah, your interviewer, is a very close friend of mine, and she asked if I would be interested in doing this. And therapy is something that I've thought about, that I've had in the past, and I haven't had good experiences with it. And it also terrifies me, so I thought it would be a good idea for me to do it because it scares me.
Oh, but are you scared because of what happened previously?
Yeah, I mean, the experiences that I had with the two therapists that I had had in my life, one of them, she just was kind of a basket case herself. And the other one was just very textbook and very conservative. And that's when I was like, I would say 17 years old. And it just we didn't jive together, so to speak. And I felt like he was more on the side of my parents than he was on the side of me.
Okay, so that suggests you have some difficulty with your parents?
Yeah, not so much anymore, just because I've been dealing with them for 40 years. But my mother does suffer from depression, and she has ever since I was little. And we have had a very volatile relationship in the past.
Okay. And father, very quickly?
I'm very, very, very close with my father.
Okay.
Very close.
Okay. Okay, so obviously you want to work some things out.
Yes.
So what's the first thing on your mind? What's upmost?
The biggest concern, not really concern, but like the biggest probably like issue, so to speak, in my life is the fact that I can't have a relationship. I've left every man I've ever dated, including 2 husbands, and I don't know why that is.
Right. So you said you can't. Is that a can't or a won't?
Probably a little bit of both.
Bit of both, okay. That's what you believe. You kind of can't and then you don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so probably in this first session we haven't got a lot of time to go way into what that was like for you and the history, etc. But you left both of your husbands?
Yes.
And how were each of them about that?
Awful. My first husband, I left him 6 days after a trip to Israel with his family, and I had had such a spiritual experience while I was there. And I came home, and it literally 6 days later, I was in my bedroom listening to music, and I heard a voice in my head say, if you don't leave him now, you will not think that you're strong enough to do anything for yourself for the rest of your life. And I grabbed a suitcase, and I packed it, and I left, and I went to my parents' house, and I never went back.
And whose voice? Yours?
Not a clue. Just a voice
Just
in my
a voice.
head.
Did it sound like you?
It did not sound like me. Interesting. I never thought about that before. No, it didn't sound like me.
Right. So really, since how long ago was that?
That was, well, gosh, 98?
Oh,
97
wow.
or 98,
Okay.
long time ago.
So that's a long time ago. So you've had time to look back on that and think about it and probably forgotten about it a lot.
Yeah,
but,
completely.
But would you say that was a really, apart from the sound of a voice, what is a voice anyway?
Right.
I mean, it's not a little being in there going, meh, 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 meh.
Right.
But do you think it was from a good place in you, from a wise place?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's why I listened to it.
Right. Okay. Oh, great. That's good. Because I know you have this concern, but you followed a good voice or a good part of yourself and it worked out for you. So, okay, that's number 1, done. So number 2?
Second husband, he and I left him after we had been married for about 4 years, and that was horrible. We had a horrible, horrible, horrible time with it, and we have a child together. And he made it his mission to attack me as much as he could, in terms of like saying that I was a bad mother and stuff like that. Like he really knew how to push my buttons, but I also understood that it was coming from a place of he had been hurt so much that I think it was a defense mechanism for him, and he was just trying to hurt me back as much as I had hurt him because he wanted me to know how that felt. And we were separated for 2 years, and we actually filed for divorce. And right after we filed for divorce, I sort of got this panicky feeling, and I heard that voice again, and it said, you should really, really, really try to work this out because this is the father of your child. And so he and I canceled our divorce papers, and he moved back in with me, and within 7 months, both of us knew that it wasn't going to work, that we just didn't work out married. We're great parents together, and in fact, he and I work together all the time. We just did a project together 2 weeks ago and had the time of our lives. And people always ask us why we aren't still married, but it's because we just instinctively knew after trying again that we did not work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old's your child?
He's 7.5.
Oh, okay. And so when you finally separated, how old was he?
I want to say Jackson was 6 the second time that we separated. Yeah.
Okay, so hearing of 2 instances which are in the past now, but it seems to me that you actually did make a decision from a place that you speaking to yourself or whatever this voice was, and particularly with the second one, you're having a horrible, horrible time, as you say. So maybe you were just with people who didn't suit you.
Yes, but I'm a bad picker. Like, I'm not known for my good picking choice.
Okay.
It's like I constantly pick the wrong people to be with, and I don't know why that is.
Are there similarities in the 2 men? Do they have
Yes,
particular
I
things?
date men that end up like needing to be taken care of, and then I get sick of doing that, and I get resentful of that, and I leave them.
Okay. Well, you've got your own answers to your question, haven't you?
Pretty black and white.
Yeah. So, what's your real problem? I mean, really, what are you really saying? I mean, that's very clear. You made certain choices for the reasons you know about now. You probably didn't know then. And so I think what you're trying to say is that, you know, I make bad choices, but I also get rid of them, these guys, but actually just making bad choices. Why is that a problem now?
I don't know why that's a problem.
Are you avoiding men whom you feel will be needing to be taken care of, or what are you doing? Why?
I think the reason that because at this point I'm just like, I just don't think that I'm meant to be in a relationship. I think I might be one of those people that just isn't meant for relationships.
Do you want one?
Yes, I think ultimately I do. I tell myself all the time that I don't, but ultimately, at the end of the day, if I'm really honest with myself, I'd like to say that I would like one, but it's just that my track record is so awful that I've convinced myself that I'm okay with not having a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I confuse myself all the time, just with myself.
Why?
I just feel like I'm a sort of a contradiction sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm like, I have a tattoo of a pink heart on one side of the back of my neck and a tattoo of a black heart on the other side of the back of my neck. And somebody once asked me why, and I said it's because I'm both brighter and darker than anybody will ever know. And it's like I really do confuse myself sometimes because I have like opposite beliefs, I guess. It's hard to explain. But I've always confused myself like that. Like in my job and my profession, I'm very structured and very organized and very on top of it, and I can run 100-person crew with my hands tied behind my back. But get me off set and get me at home in my personal life, and I'm a friggin' disaster.
How does that manifest now? as you live your life?
Well, when I'm not working, honestly, like I'll get up in the morning and I make my son his lunch and I walk him to school, and I'll usually come home and put my sweatpants back on and a wife beater and a hoodie sweatshirt and sit on the couch and watch TV all day, take a nap, and then finally get in the shower like 45 minutes before Jackson's out of school to go pick him up, and that's when I finally rally and get dressed.
Mm-hmm.
And that bothers me about myself.
Mm-hmm. So why do you do that? Why do you choose that?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I think if I can figure out why I make the choice, then I have a better opportunity to change it.
When did you last do that?
When did I last do that?
What day? This week? No?
Friday.
Friday. Okay. Can you remember to Friday when all was done? Or was Jackson at school then? Or?
No, actually, he was home.
Home. Ooh, okay. All right, so this is a real problem for you. Even with Jackson there, you still did that. Can you remember the feeling of the urge? What was it, rather than remain up and alive and awake?
No.
Do you think when you're not working, your feeling about yourself goes down? Does
Yes,
it plummet?
absolutely. I have all the confidence in the world in my job, and I don't have a lot of confidence, I guess, in myself, which doesn't make any sense to me because I'm well liked by people, and people seem to like to be around me. Like, but I just like feel this social awkwardness. Like, I never go out. Like, I'm a total hermit. I stay home almost every night. And I'm on my phone with my imaginary friends in my phone on Twitter. Like, it's retarded.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. But you don't want to be that.
I don't really.
But you're choosing to, even though it doesn't feel like a choice, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, you have to catch yourself at the point of choice. And then you have to begin to look at yourself in that moment. I'm just giving you as a bit of quick advice, so that you say, I'm standing here, I just want to get to that couch. I can't be bothered to do it. Is that what you say? Things like, I just don't want to do anything. Do you feel a bit lackadaisical or down?
Absolutely.
Okay. What's happened just before then?
Work.
Work, meaning?
Meaning, like, I think I go and I go and I go so much when I work.
Okay. But I mean on the day.
On the day.
You've dropped Jackson to school, say, or
Yes.
whatever. So you get home. Do you know when you're dropping him that when you get home you're going to do that?
Yep. Well, no, a lot of times I will tell myself, okay, you're going to do this and you're going to do this and you're going to do this today. And then maybe if I'm lucky, one of those things will get done.
Okay. So would you say you feel depressed? Or is it not a depressed feeling?
Well, I have never characterized it as being that, because having grown up with a bipolar mother, I saw how she acted. And so because my behavior doesn't match hers exactly, I never associated the two. She's always told me that she thought I should take medication. I took lithium when I was 19 for a year, and it was awful.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I think we're getting to something here about what you carry about your mother, because I really believe you. I really can tell by your energy, by how you are. You don't want to be doing that. You do want to sort that and want to be somewhere else, something else, doing other things.
So badly.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. It's like here at the back, where did you say it's on your neck?
On the back of my neck.
Yeah, and two hearts. So there's a pink mother and there's a dark mother, because bipolar is that. Now you would say, oh no, I had a great friend and she was the pink, or, you can have all sorts of reasons, but the driver in the mind, I mean, that's quite a big thing to do, is to I'm sure you've got reasons and, thought it was cute or you thought it was pretty cool or whatever. But that's what I see. Because women with bipolar experience as children through their mother have a high possibility of literally not copying exactly, but being so influenced that the split is just there. This is your mother. She is being that and she is being that. You've just told me that's what you do. And I do believe that that's what you'd have to untangle, sort that out. Do you see your mother now?
All the time.
Oh.
We live a block away from each other.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you see her all the time. And how are things with her now?
We get along. We still have our moments, She'll be really condescending to me, and then I won't speak to her for like 3 or 4 days and stuff like that. And, we'll still have issues where my father is sort of the peacemaker in the family, and he'll call me and he'll be like, well, you upset your mother by doing this. And I'll say, well, she upset me by doing this. And it's like I've never felt like I had a mother-daughter relationship with her, which in terms of seeing other people with their moms when I was growing up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And did you do any work around this when you were with these other therapists you saw? Did you?
The conversation was started, but I have always, we've lived our lives sort of walking on eggshells around my mom.
Yes.
Because you never know, like, what is going to set off an episode or something like that. And the problem is that I'm a firm believer in not, like, blaming. Like, I don't want to be one of those people in life that are a victim of circumstance, because those people fucking drive me crazy. And it's like, yes, everybody has like their thing that happened to them that traumatized them growing up or whatever. But it's like there comes a point in time where you become an adult and you have to take responsibility for your own life. And so I just never wanted to, I guess maybe I never worked on it because I felt like if I did, I would, in my mind, I was blaming my mother for my problems. And I don't blame my mother for my problems. You know what I mean?
Good.
As much as she is nuts, I love her, and she loved me as much as she could and showed me in the best way that she was capable of doing. And for that, I'm grateful.
I believe you, and it's true and wonderful.
Thank you.
Nonetheless, blame, you've gotten out of the way. You're a long way ahead of a lot of people who they won't look at their problems because they don't want to blame, and they start to look at their problems and the only thing they can do is blame. And it gets them nowhere. So you already, I understand that you don't want to use blame. That just goes right against who you are and what you stand for and your experience. So that's excellent that that's in place. Nonetheless, these childhood experiences are to be looked at because you carry your mother's split. Because what I would ask you, so you don't want to look into that, or you don't think, you've got to grow up and you're adult now, but how are you doing?
Yeah, not very well.
So something has to be looked at or unraveled for you to basically internally change your foundation, really, and don't be scared by that, but where all that you are now, I believe, just in the small amount you've told me, is because of no blame. I always say no shame, no blame. Nonetheless, you were brought up by a mother whom you yourself said, and I know, bipolar, eggshelling around them all the time. And so when you were small, you were not formed. You weren't an adult, as you said before. But inside, in the way that you formed, does have this duality. Too much. We've all got it, but yours is too much. That's all. It's an amount that's too much. It's deeply kind of ingrained in your whole development. I can see that straight away. So that's really where I think working with you that would have to head. And yeah, of course, who wants to do that?
Oh, I just actually feel like a...
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
almost, kind of, yeah.
I think that a lot of people are in the pursuit of happiness, and just like you, just like me. And actually, unless we understand what is causing unhappiness, which is what you're experiencing, you don't like lying on your couch, I know, I can tell. It's a horrible thing to be doing, especially for a whole day, waiting for your son to be ready to be picked up. So that's unhappiness. Really, you would like to just go, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore, and as you said before, and you can't. Unfortunately, not won't. At the moment, it's can't. That's a big thing. So if you come to understand deeply on a deep level why you have to go to that couch, because of the early childhood experiences in your development, why they have affected you so strongly. Once you understand that, really you can gain the happiness. And more than happiness, actually, for you, it's being able to move on with life.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.